All right.
Hi, my name is Lucero, and I'd like to offer a brief history and anatomy of the human brain. What is it about the brain that's so fascinating? Human history offers lots of ideas on that. Archaeological finds from the Neolithical period offer compelling evidence of early brain operation. Ancient Egyptian evidence suggests the brain surgery was even used for spirituality. South Americans used bronze and obsidian tools to conduct their brain operations. Numerous psychological disorders seem to be arising during the Middle Ages. Disorders such as psychosis, mania, neurosis, and depression were studied and categorized in India. Until modern times, brain activity and function was still a very unknown and controversial subject. It wasn't until modern times that we were able to do mapping of the brain. Using electronic devices, we were able to stimulate areas of the brain to determine which area of the brain controls which area of the body, and which area of the body signals the brain. We have also used many animals and tools to gather information about brain anatomy and brain function. History and technology have played an immense part in the knowledge we have obtained as a species. With that said, let's talk a little bit about some of its functions. Over here we've got a frontal view of the human brain, the left and the right hemisphere. It's separated and connected by the corpus callosum. What the corpus callosum does is it communicates between the left and the right brains so that everything in our world will come together seamless and flawlessly, or as possible. Just to give you a better example, the right brain will connect the left arm, and the left brain will connect the right arm. People with epilepsy often have trouble with the communicating properties of the left and the right. And so surgical procedures end up cutting this corpus callosum. And what that does is it brings the left and the right brain as independent from each other. There have actually even been cases where entire hemispheres were removed. And what happens there is that cavity or that blank spot will fill up with fluid. And so the remaining portion of the brain will actually start to compensate for the loss of a part, and that's called plasticity. So let's talk about the lobes of the brain. There's 4 primary lobes, and over here we've got the frontal lobe, and that's responsible for decision making and tasks and keeping things in order. When the frontal lobe gets damaged, some people can have a loss of smell or taste. People become easily distracted, they become irritable, they don't follow rules. It diminishes your ability to solve problems. Also, you can't do the robot. The parietal lobe is home of the primary sensory lobe, and what the primary sensory cortex. And what the primary sensory cortex does is your body sends signals, and these signals register in this portion of the brain and get distributed for, a full idea of what sensation that is. The parietal lobe also helps with knowledge of numbers and their relation to each other. Damage to the parietal lobe can cause general confusion, difficulty with mathematics, and speech problems, depending on which side. If it's the left side of the brain, then you may possibly have speech difficulties. The occipital lobe is home of the visual cortex. And how that basically works in a nutshell is you see things through your eyes, and it goes through specific ducts and nucleuses until it gets to the cortex there. And then from there, this portion of the brain translates it into what you see as reality. Damages to this portion of the brain can give the person hallucinations, a loss of vision, and also writing impairments. So we're going to move on down to the temporal lobe. The temporal lobe aids in the retention of long-term memories. It's the speech center is actually located on the left side of this brain, and it contributes to all the various language functions that go with that. damage to the temporal lobe. Of course, have some of the elements are disrupted language comprehension, impaired memory, as well as difficulty placing words and pictures in categories. And so, in conclusion, we as a human species have a highly specified brain with very special functions. Each area and region of the brain has its own job and function, which work together in making everything in our worlds possible, from brushing our hair to mountain climbing, and everything must work together. And also, some words of wisdom is read lots of books and wear a helmet. Thank you very much.